Schultz is a dark and mysterious place forgotten by time. Dangerous creatures, undead, dinosaurs, and hideous abominations beyond belief and myth themselves dwell here. Over time, the party has grown and changed, and this will be reflected openly. However, it is important to set up the very aim of the adventure. A death curse has gripped every individual in the planes known as Faerun. Those who have been resurrected are swiftly deteriorating. Those who have died can no longer be brought back to life with any degree of certainty. The cause of such has been traced to Chult itself. The original members of our party were found landed, teleported, or shipwrecked on a strange island. Eventually, they met with a strange individual in the centre of the island. Not before coming across hints to odd gods, strange statues, and hauntingly inseparable snail tokens. In the very centre of the island, as previously said, they found an old woman by the name of Sindra Sylvain. She explained the issues of the death curse and a few other perils facing Schultz, including her own swift descent into death, before teleporting the group to Port Nyanzaru, the main and only real port of civilization in the entirety of the Chultan Peninsula. It is here that the party drank and were merry before their endeavours outside of the city. They also discovered a spirit stronger than death itself, which imbibed could potentially have very chaotic effects. It is worth noting, however, as well, that during their stay in Port Nyanzaru, the party took it upon themselves to kill a merchant prince, one of the ruling classes in the place. As such, the estate was taken control by the party. Leaving Port Nyanzaru, along with their guides and leader, the individuals found a ruckus at the fighting pits, the place where justice was doled out by the Chultan hierarchy. It appears that murderers and other criminals were being sacrificed to dinosaurs. Strange and oddly barbaric. The locals were also discovered to be cannibals. In an event unknown to all, the party helped out killing the dinosaurs and saved the innocent criminals. It's worth noting only one innocent criminal was saved. The others fell to the hideous effects of the times. The freed criminal proved to be the newest party member, a Romanar. The party were not content with leaving yet, and there was a slight uproar with the execution failing. As a result, with things being as they are, the death of 50 innocent people at the hands of a Romanar occurred. It was simply by the saviour of the bells and the arrival of a giant zombie T-Rex the party was saved from future attacks. They escaped across a bridge where Trix herself attempted to fly across and was swiftly hit by a low-flying parrot. Ramon decided to talk to some trees and sleep in them. It was at such a point the party found themselves unable to navigate to this strange peninsula. They, after all, had very little in the way of cartography or navigation experience, leading them to travel round and round in constant circles until another party member finally freed them from the perils and ignorance of their surroundings. It was not long after that they reached Camp Righteous, a place unknown to the party at this time. They shortly discovered there to be a tomb and some goats tied up. One of these goats was soon after adopted by a party member, to be named as Roderick, who will become very important later on. An altercation with Akbeeks nearly led to the rape and destruction of Marco although he swiftly avoided it, claiming to be far more superior to these creatures. He beheaded the creature and took its skull. At a later date, it would soon become a kusagane, a weapon of choice for the monk. The most important incident, however, occurred inside the tomb, which followed many strange tales and myths, including that of a crocodile and a man, a story which can be read in many places in Chult. Deep in the temple, the party found a strange urn. After navigating traps and many puzzles, through events that the party will be unaware of at this moment in time, but those who were present remember, the temple itself completely collapsed, leaving nothing behind. It's worth noting that the Axbigs was swiftly also calmed by Marco, using the Macarena as a means of placation. It was at this moment that a strange event occurred. An odd lull in the terrible effects and trials of Chult. The party had a wonderful, relaxing boat journey down the river to the strains of unchained melody. It was a wonderful romantic moment where the party bonded in their own pairs. Shortly after, they reached Camp Vengeance. Entry to the camp proved to be a small adventure, but required a strategy including the chicken dance, of course. Whilst present within the camp, Trix slept with Commander Breakbone and his wife. Romanar and Ramon completed a post-mortem on a zombie, revealing him to have a blue triangle on his head, strangely a rune of command. Marco and Orlena had a mass with some religious zealots. Marco convinced them to fight the undead, and they left unaware of the danger on some strange crusade. Nebron created a romantic attachment with their guide Selida, but it proved to be short-lived, as was Nebron's presence. The zealots ran to their death forth against the undead attacks soon assaulting the camp. They died in a hideous blaze. Whilst fighting the undead, Marco summoned a golem to his aid from a god he has no connection with previously. Trix decided to throw a fireball at the Harbinger of the Night Serpent, a strange being who they had only just recently met. The spell was stopped in midair by this creature, with strange power, before swiftly being amplified and thrown at Camp Righteous, levelling it instantly. The only survivors of the camp proved to be Selida and some children, one of which is Helia. Commander Breakbone and an individual now known as Orboy were soon resurrected as zombies by Ramon. Their fate is yet to be sealed. The Harbinger of the Night Serpent, upon his allies and the undead horde failing, decided to exit through a portal. Not before Trixon and Romanar discovered that through the portal slept the Titan of Nightmares, Dendar, the Night Serpent. They saw it, and it most definitely saw them too. It was shortly after that the individuals in the party decided to scale a place they had discovered to be called Umbala, before they met Nani Papu. Seemed friendly at first, but was soon revealed to be a hideous hag and a fighting shield. She used flying monkeys to fight the party, to much effect. It was at this sad moment that Romanar tried her hardest to save Roderick the goat, but sadly failed. With Nani Papu dead, the rest of the party rejoiced, drank, and ate. However, Trixon and Romanar took the dead corpse of Roderick to a tomb in Umbala. It proved to be that of the first king of Umbala. Before displacing the dead individual and the mummy within, Roderick was placed in the crypt in an attempt to honour his memory. Upon the tomb, the party inscribed the words, "Here lies King Roderick of the Goats, slain by a vengeful hag. May his sacrifice never be forgotten." His body was left there till this very day. Or was it? It was at this moment that the entire party ate flying monkey paella. Before realizing and discovering the locations of Orolanga, the heart of Uptown, and the wreck of the Star Goddess, which was soon to be explored. The next step on the trip was the heart of Uptown indeed, where they met Valindra, a racist, xenophobic red wizard, who was very unpleasant to the party, so their visit was short-lived. During the descent and from the heart of Uptown and the moving forward, the rest of the party interacted with strange woodland creatures, residents of Chult, to be known as the Chawinga, tiny nature spirits. They seem to be swapping goods of mundane value with oddly those of expensive value, sometimes food for gems, completely unaware of the value of money, clearly. They seem rather intrigued by Dees, the party's bard, although his presence would soon be short-lived. It was at this moment that the party decided to take a rest, all except Romanartrix, of course, who travelled forth to a place called Drungalung, home of the Grung frog people of Chult. Attempts to assault the maze surrounding the temple itself were to no avail, and the Romanartrix soon teleported to the centre, using a helm teleportation. After a battle, they reached the centre with trickery and deception. The party decided to take a different route, conjuring an image, believing it to be of effect. The king of the Grung was brought low by the silent image of his god, conjured by a Romanar. It was at this point that the Grung people were granted democracy. The individuals present are now hailed as heroes by the Grung people, and were gifted with the gift of a flute of Grung democracy, capable of summoning those they had saved to their aid. Travelling for many miles after this, the party finally arrived at the wreck of the Star Goddess, a crashed Hauruan skyship. Saving the crew from the zombie six-armed gorillas proved simple with the help of an adamant simian in the form of Ramon. Trix discovered an ancient chest and swiftly lost her hands to it. It was shortly after that Romana opened the chest through strange means, having awareness of the ruins inside, only to find a strange arcane sphere alongside Trix's now severed hand in a spectral nature, soon to become her travelling companion. The man-at-arms eviscerated the final ape, finally revealing his true nature as an alpha werewolf. Sadly, Commander Breakbone, the ever-burning, fell here at the bowsprit of the fallen skyship, never to be revived again. It was there that the party, through some strange means, found themselves at new locales. Through some moment in this passage, it was also revealed that Trix was with child, carrying the child of Commander Breakbone. It is swiftly after this strange occurrence and odd time spent in an alternate place that the party found themselves on the banks of a temple called Nangor. Inside, they fought adaptive plants, poisonous fauna, and a rather snazzy Medusa. After a long fight, the Gorgon was banished by Trix to the places unknown. Realizing the flesh-eating disease that had been unleashed previously was encroaching upon the party, they decided to exhale very swiftly by means of teleportation, returning to Port Nyanzaru. It was here that Trix discovered her strange empire had expanded, and the villa which they had previously overtaken was now their seat of operations. Ramon carried out strange untoward acts in the sewers, whilst being watched, of course. Eventually the party were castigated by Valerian, the aspect of balance, for their lack of action. They were told that Uptown needs to be returned to stop the return of Dendar. The old religions must fade and have faded, but the new religions must die, and the old religions be renewed. It was also revealed that Rasnisi is controlling the undead, a strange warlord, which the party have very little information. They have also been informed that they need to rebuild Mesro. It was this point that they were swiftly teleported to Orolunga, the place where they should have gone in the first place. They tried to activate the shrines of Ubtal, but they seemed to have just got a confused man on the other end. Shortly after, they climbed a ziggurat carrying feathers, lilies, and swallowing a snake all the way down. At the summit, they reached a strange temple, where they met a Naga by the name of Sajnajar, who revealed the site that Omu was the last city, and possibly the place what they were seeking. They met with Artus, Simba, and Dragonbait. Artus seemed to have a strange cold feeling, probably due to his arthritis. The pair agreed to meet the party at Mesro at a later date. Travelling to the next shrine to Uptal, they met with another strange challenge and spoke to the old man once again. It seems at each shrine there were different challenges to pass to activate the shrine. Clearly, this is Uptal, but he has been confused. At each shrine, after the completion of the task, the light was activated and power was slowly returning to Uptal. The party now aims to go straight to Mesro. It is also worth note, due to a mishap with a teleported black hole, Umbala is now a lake called Lake Bala. This may have also solved the issue of the flesh-eating disease at Nangalore, although nobody has actually checked this theory at all.